Dreamers everywhere, welcome to the Dueling Disney podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Andee Zellmerman.
And I am the other one of your hosts, Dr. Alfred Day. How are you doing?
Good, doctor.
I've decided to start injecting that in random conversations where it doesn't matter and just makes people feel awkward.
You earned it.
Yeah.
You earned it. You should have everyone call you doctor all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Day at Target. You're like,
sorry.
That's Dr. Day.
Doctor. On airplanes. At fast food restaurants.
I can't say
Dr.
it.
Dr. Day, here's your extra French fries.
Oh, how has your week been? Did you have any? Well, I know you had a Disney week because I was part of some of it. My God.
Oh my God. So for our listeners, this is not my Disney week, but I think our listeners, this is just a window into my life. I was, we're recording this on a Sunday. I was at Target on a Saturday. Yes, my life is exciting. Calm down. And my phone just started pinging from text messages like somebody was, wrestling or like somebody was strangling an elf. It was just ping, 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 ping.
And, a lot of pings.
And I looked down because you know how you're like, I was getting out of the car and I was getting a basket and I was like, what the hell's going on? And I looked down at my phone and there was like 56 text messages. And it was all Andee and her family trying to figure out costumes for when we go.
Well, wait. You say Andee and her family, but let's just take out Ed right there because he wasn't part of the conversation.
Yeah, I didn't see Ed on it at all. Yeah,
and
Ed
I think that he would be like offended if you even included him in that conversation. So, our duelists, the people on our private Facebook page, know that we put out some pleas. Al and Ed and Annika and I are going to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party in October at Walt Disney World in Florida. And we had enough trouble figuring out a costume for the four of us. And then as of yesterday morning, we added 3 more to the costume idea. So as you can imagine.
2 more?
Yeah. 3 more. TJ is coming too.
Oh my gosh.
So we've got...
So here's the thing I don't understand. How are they getting tickets to this Not So Scary Halloween since those were... I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Because we got tickets to the Not So Scary Halloween. I thought those were sold out.
No, they're not sold out.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
They're not sold out. We're going on a Monday night. They're not sold out.
I don't know.
No.
I do stuff by myself.
I know you do. So now there's going to be 7 of us in this costume shenanigan thing. And I've got 2 very creative daughters that obsess over things like this. And yeah. So
and I had my costume already
done. I know.
And then at the end you were like, so what have we decided? Or Al, does that work for you? I was like, I still have no idea. Like I don't know what the ultimate thing is. And
we go,
Monica will tell me what I'm supposed to do and I will just do what she
will. She was giving you the idea that if we go as the villains and you decide to go as Bambi's mother's hunter, then you have to carry a deer that people know what you are.
I was going to go as the animator who decided that was a good idea.
I think that's wonderful. That is definitely villainous. 100%. I don't even know. It's such a big deal to those who care.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going along and, I'm not super like I'm definitely one that if you say we're Disney bounding, I'm 100% there. But if it's a full on costume, I'm like, that's not my thing.
I think we're doing the Disney bounding.
That totally works for me. But that wasn't my Disney
a flannel. Week. I know. Okay, well, it was mine. So there you have it.
Everybody was my Disney week. And your Disney week impugned. And mine is super quick, but it was awesome, and I highly recommend it for others. I actually did, weirdly enough, they both came in the same week. I sometimes get tickets for the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra. Yeah. And this week, last Sunday and this Friday, so 5 days apart, the last Sunday, the San Francisco Symphony did a Disney concert. And then this Friday, just 2 nights ago, they did a John Williams symphony concert, and I went to both, and they were awesome. The Disney one they did, it was very orchestrated by Disney. They did scenes from the movies, and the orchestra played along with it. But strangely enough, you would think that would be the more impressive one, but the more impressive one was the John Williams Symphony, because you're going to the symphony, having the two to compare in short time, having the film there actually kind of takes away from it, because when I went to the John Williams one, it wasn't film clips, it was just the music. And I just closed my eyes and listened to the music, and it was amazing. So I actually, it seems counterintuitive. They do these, a lot of symphonies do these sort of play along with a movie, or, you know, I recommend going if they're not doing the clips. I would have retroactively really have liked to heard some of that Disney music without the clips, so I could just close my eyes and hear the music. The clips, like, you focused on, it was like, oh yeah, that's the movie I saw, as opposed to the John Williams. I don't feel like I've ever really heard that music in full until this experience. And they did every, you know, Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Superman, and they had a violinist come out and do the theme from Schindler's List, and it was literally brought me to tears. It was amazing. It was so good.
That does sound amazing. That does sound amazing. I need to look out for stuff like that happening in Portland. I let that stuff go by me. So.
I mean, I gotta imagine Portland's probably lousy with this kind of stuff. I've seen Portlandia. It seems like the kind of town.
Oh, it definitely is. And I always see it after the fact. Mm-hmm. I always forget to look at it. They've had the John Williams thing here too. Yeah. I don't remember the Disney, but it doesn't, I mean, I'm so out of it when it comes to that stuff. It might have happened, might not have. I don't know. I should look.
And anybody who knows me knows I live my life between super fancy and hamburgers. Like, that's my sweet spot. Is I don't like super fancy restaurants and stuff like this, but I like super fancy experiences like the symphony. So, like, I've been really wrestling with this lately. Like, I have a weird place that I live. Like, I went to the symphony, and there's all these really, like, fancy restaurants around, and I needed to get something to eat before. And so I found, like, the one, like, hole in the wall burger joint to get a burger, and then I walked over to the symphony.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I am.
That makes sense.
I am, to quote Popeye.
Yeah. All right. Well, and then you upgraded your hotel for our next trip too. So you're a little bit fancier. Not like super fancy deluxe, but fancier than the value.
That was cheaper. So Andy and I have talked a lot about how we travel differently. And one of the things, I'm cheap, but I'm also obsessive compulsive about travel arrangements. So once I book a hotel, that's not the end of it. I then compulsively look to see if I got a good deal right up until the hotel. And so I moved from the Desert Palms, which was actually a really good get. It's the hotel right on the corner near 7-Eleven that's on the same block as California Adventure. For D23, which I think is a great site if you're going for a trip to Disneyland. But for D23, I was able to get a last minute spot at the Hilton, which is literally
amazing.
at the convention center, and was about $200 cheaper for the whole trip. So I'm like, well, I just paid for one of my trips to one of the merchandise stores. It's not, come on, let's be clear, it's going to be more money than that. But I saved a couple $100 by doing that, and which kind of, I don't know if you had another Disney week, but it kind of leads into our topic for this week.
No, it totally doesn't. My whole Disney week was taken by my children yesterday.
You can't blame them. You're the one that imbued them with this obsession.
I know that. I have to remember that.
I know you're right.
I know you're right. Oh man, what have I created? Oh
my gosh.
Well, at least they both found partners that also like Disney. I mean, I don't know
how
they
at least put up with it.
No, they like it. I mean, they're just as obsessed. So yeah. Anyway, so we are getting ready to go to D23, the Ultimate Fan Event, and the next time you hear from us will actually be from the event, because that's it.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
That's what's happening.
That's what's happening.
So this week the schedule came out at the end of last week. And but this week we were to make reservations for, it's not even a reservation, it's more of a request of what you would like to go see, and you were able to pick from the panels, and you were able to pick from the talent if you wanted any signings or pictures. And then there were other events you could pick from too, like winning a Pixar ball, or
I so want a Pixar ball.
Did you put in? I didn't even put in for any of those
because ball and for the pennants and stuff like that.
I should have done that for you.
I think I put in like most of the time I put in for like 2 people just in case, because I figured if I was there and like I'm sure somebody in your family would want the extra, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're right too. I put 4. You were able to do up to 8 guests this time, requests to go with you. So I just kept putting 4 for whatever. But yeah, I didn't. I was like not a spoiled sport. I wasn't really caring about any of the stuff.
Me either. And I tell you why. I think when we went, now we've been once before, and I cared a lot more about it the first time because part of that was the big ticket items, the panels that are now going to be at the Honda Center. So that's why I stressed about it the last time, because I was like, well, I just really need to get to those big events. Now, since we already have tickets to those big events, this one was much more like, oh, I can see this or I could see that. Like I still put some thought into it, but I didn't stress about it. There was nothing on that list that I was like, oh my God, if I don't get into this, my whole weekend is ruined.
Yeah, and one of the things that I thought was weird, and if our listeners know why this happened, let us know. So I bought the tickets for Al and Ed and myself, and then you had to release those tickets under their name. So I gave, Al his ticket and he accepted it, and I gave Ed his ticket under his account and he accepted it. And so I thought we were all able to make reservations on our own. Like Al could do what he want. Yeah. And I could do different ones, and Ed could do different ones. Now, luckily, Al was able to do his own individual request, which I thought, okay, good, great. But for some reason, Ed's and mine are meshed. So I did all mine, and then we went to Ed's account to do his, and it pulled up exactly
I'm wondering,
the ones that I requested.
The same email address?
No. We don't have the same email address.
I'm not sure why that happened.
He has his own account. He has his own D23 account.
That's interesting.
You know what? Wait a second.
Do you have a family?
Wait a second. Yes, we have a dual membership. No, but he's not on the gold. He just made his because Emma has the gold one. So he's just got his own D23 non-gold membership.
Yeah.
That we use for the number on this. So I don't know what happened, but I didn't really care. So
enough times that Disney was like, Al's gonna want to do his own thing.
No, I don't know. I'm sorry, and I don't want to be
an algorithm that picks it up and says, "Come on."
An algorithm, get it? An algorithm.
Nice, well played.
So anyway, last time we were talking about 2 times ago. I'm sorry, 2 episodes ago we were talking about the D23, and I don't even know where. We were talking about the chaos, just the chaos kind of everything.
Chaos and me.
We were talking about the chaos with the Genie, the new Genie Plus Lightning Lane thing. And I just had that same kind of feeling as I was going into this process. And I don't know if it's the summer. I don't know what my attitude is. I'm right in the middle of menopause. So put that on there, right? Like I just am not looking at anything with rose-colored glasses. And so I don't know. I was just kind of like weirded out by it all. So I wasn't super excited to sign up for the panels, though we did. Are there any panels that you saw that you're like, oh, I'm excited about this one?
I mean, here's the thing. Honestly, I think it's my collector brain, only the panels where I was like, so for example, I talk about how I'm more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy, but I read Marvel comics. Marvel still gets a ton of my money on comics. But I know that every year they give out a sort of unique comic at their Marvel Comics panel at D23. And so that was the only one where I was like, oh, I really want to go to that one. But it was more because I want the comic, and it usually goes up in value quite a bit. But other than that, like it was more for me. Like they had these signings for these books, but I haven't read the books, so I don't know if I should be excited about them. And generally I will get excited about them sort of once I go to the panel, so it's an interesting sort of dilemma of like, ahead of. So, for example, I'm leaving for Comic-Con in 3 days in San Diego, and it's a very different type of experience. But San Diego Comic-Con is much more about discovery of new things. And so I think that was in my mindset about picking panels for D23 is I look forward for an opportunity to explore stuff that I don't already have an investment in, right? So, there's a bunch of Disney stuff that I just don't know about yet. And I go to the panels and I'm like, ooh, that's cool, or that's interesting. The other thing is, as a Disney adult, I am less interested in the stuff that's kid or family focused, specifically. And so that's a good chunk of it. And so I sort of was able to be like, well, I'm not super interested in Bluey. So,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of Bluey content. Oh my God.
A lot of Bluey.
There's a lot
And I gotta
Bluey.
say, if if it wasn't just Bluey and Bingo, if it was Mom and Dad, I totally would have been there because I think Chili is the best mom on TV.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you don't. I think Bluey is fantastic. A fantastic one of those cartoons that is definitely for children, but so much adult content. That's why I liked Phineas and Ferb too. I thought Phineas and Ferb was like that, which I'm pretty excited that they're.
It's hilarious. I just didn't watch it, because I didn't have kids, right?
Yeah, but it's definitely one of those that you can watch without kids, and it's pretty dang funny.
But so for me, I mean, there's some cool stuff. I mean, here's the thing. We've been to D23 once before. It is, and I'm a guy who's been going to Comic-Con and comic conventions for 25 years. It is a great convention. And I will say, though, for D23, different than other conventions, the show floor is, in my opinion, so much more exciting than the panels.
Yeah.
That's really, I think, what I was trying to figure out the distinction, because I'm literally planning. I've got 10 days between Comic-Con and D23. With Comic-Con, the show floor is amazing, but it's so big and overwhelming and chaotic that, like, it is what it is. I can't get too committed to it. Whereas D23, it's not just a room of people selling you stuff. There's all these experiences on the show floor and different cool stuff. And the merch is handled very differently at D23. So the panels, although I'm looking at the schedule now as we record, and there's like the stuff that I'm weirdly sort of like Walt Disney and El Grupo, like talking about Walt and the Animator's trip to South America in the 1940s, right? I thought I was the only person who was even remotely interested in that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, there's a whole panel on it, right? And so I really, for the event schedule, but I also, Grey's Anatomy, I don't...
But there are a lot of people that will be. There are a lot of people that will be excited about Grey's Anatomy.
And Abbott Elementary is going to be there. Elementary, but I'll probably, there's the other thing where Abbott Elementary also has a panel at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of like, okay, if I don't get to see them at Comic-Con, then I'll try to get in. But also from a strategic perspective, because the big panels are taken out, I'm like, I think there's a much higher likelihood at D23 of being able to walk into panels even if you didn't get a reservation.
Agreed. 100% agreed. And I don't know if we'll be right or wrong, but that's kind of my assumption as well, is that because those bigger conference venues are going to be opened up at the convention center, that it might be easier to get a seat at the things you want to go to, like Walt Disney and El Grupo, right? Like the things that...
Let's be clear. I don't think in any world Walt Disney and El Grupo is going to be sold out.
Yeah, but 30 years of Toy Story might be, depending, because...
Or Abbott Elementary or Grey's Anatomy, right?
But I am looking forward to hearing from you what Disney panels are at Comic-Con, because I think that last time there was a D23, they kind of like said, nope, we're not doing Comic-Con this year. We're going to save everything for D23. Yep. And this year, I think that changed a little bit. And I think there's going to be more Disney panels at Comic-Con.
Oh, so yeah, there's actually a ton. And so I have my best friend from high school, Anthony, and his wife, Lori, are going. I hooked them up with some of my spare tickets. And Disney pulled a last minute, I don't know if it was an addition, because I feel like this was always going to happen. But from the announcement to the time it was already done, is on Thursday, they have a Deadpool and Wolverine event with Hugh Jackman and Deadpool dude.
Ryan Reynolds.
Reynolds, not Gosling, Reynolds. And my friend's wife Lori loves Ryan Reynolds, and she was like, "Oh, how do I get into that?" I was like, "They don't normally do this, but it was pre-ticketed, so they announced it and said, here's the link for tickets,' and like 5 minutes later, it was done." And I was, because that's not usually how Hall H panels work.
Right.
And so, like, that was a whole different thing that they did. They also still have their big panel on Saturday, where they do all the, like, hey, here's the Marvel plans for the next whatever. And because last year was the strike and we're coming out of COVID era weirdness, like, this is the first time they were going to be there since like 2019, like, for a major panel.
Yeah.
Abbott Elementary is there, which you know, you're in education. I'm not in K through 12, but I love Abbott Elementary. It's such a good show. And they always have like a lot of animation stuff just in and around, and they're a major part of the show floor through Lucasfilm and through a bunch of other stuff. So Disney's going to have a major presence at San Diego, and then turn around and have a major presence in Anaheim because they're D23 Expo. Or the Ultimate Fan Event. Sorry for using the wrong nomenclature. The one thing they're not doing is usually D23 has an event at San Diego, and they don't. And I'm like, yeah, you got to understand that. Like, they're not going to try to pull off both D23, the Ultimate Fan Event, and also a big event at San Diego. But Disney has a major presence at San Diego. Not only that, but now the addition of 20th Century Fox. The Simpsons always has a big panel and a big presence. So they've almost doubled their presence with the 20th Century Fox acquisition at San Diego. So I'm really excited. There's so many things that I want to see from Disney at San Diego that I probably won't be able to get into because I don't even try Hall H anymore. And she's really disappointed that she couldn't get in. So if anybody's got one of those tickets and has a guest, let me know, and I'll, you know, I'm literally online trying to trade. I have a what happens at San Diego is, if you get access to certain exclusives, you trade. And so I have access to the Funko line on Friday. And so I'm trying to trade some Funko acquisitions for a ticket to the D23s, to the Disney Deadpool and Wolverine, so she can get it. So I'm active on Facebook groups trying to stage a trade for Funko Pops. It's crazy, but it's part of the fun of Comic-Con.
I know, that's
chaos of Comic-Con is not D23 doesn't have that chaos.
No. That is true. And I think they thought they might someday, but I don't know that it's.
Well, again,
it's interesting.
Even though it costs more money, the Honda Center, and we'll see how it works, right? Like, my biggest worry is, and this is still related to panels, but some of the other things we want to talk about is sort of a generalized guide to D23 is, you know, as we've mentioned before, the big panels, the big feature, you know, Disney movie panel is Friday night, the Disney Parks panel is Saturday night, and the Legend ceremony is Sunday night, are going to be outside of the convention center in the Honda Center. And the only thing I'm worried about that is the transportation from the different areas. I think is going to take a lot of time. And so I'm trying to prepare plans upon backup plans for us to get to the Honda Center if the buses don't work, you know. Gonna have to jump in an Uber.
I'm sure there will be more than enough Lyfts and Ubers to take people where they want to go. And I think there is free parking at the Honda Center if you have your Honda Center ticket.
But I don't have a car, and I don't think you guys are renting a car, are you?
We're not renting a car, but if Emma doesn't need her car, and you know, Emma will be at the event center. She's not going to Honda, but she'll be at the convention center, and she's actually staying at that area. The people that have to work there,
which
they
isn't
put
just
them up.
a lovely thing. It's because she has to work.
Oh yeah, she's not going to be having fun like us. She'll be actually working. Well, maybe she'll be having fun. I don't know, but my friends, let me just tell you that the special things that she gets to do and the people she hangs out with are people that I freak out about, like Donny Osmond, and she goes, Who's now?
Donny Osmond?
Oh, the song, you know, I'll make a man out of you. I'm like, it's Donny Osmond.
But he's a little bit rock and roll.
He is a little bit rock and roll. So I had the action figure of the Barbie.
We're so old.
I know we are. But there's going to be Art is going to be there. That's who they're using, the Anaheim Regional Transit buses. So if you've stayed in an off-site Disney or a hotel at Disneyland, then you're familiar with the Art.
Well, and let's move into that, because what I want to do is make sure that not only it's sort of the panels, but we give a generalized sort of idea for people who maybe this is their first time going to D23, or I think a lot of what we talk about will be also applicable for just a generalized trip to Disneyland. And one of them is, how do you get around? And the Art is like a central part of how I get around when I'm in Anaheim, if I'm not staying, which, let's be clear, I'm never staying at a Disney hotel in Anaheim, is the Art, which is the Anaheim Rapid Transit.
Regional Transit.
Which is the bus system that is really going to get you anywhere in and around Anaheim resort area. Stops in front of or at most hotels and drops you off right at the transportation center at Disneyland. What I usually do, I don't know how much you guys use the Anaheim Rapid Transit or Regional Transit, but I usually get like a 3-day all access pass. Especially if I'm at like the Anaheim Hilton, and you can just use it to get around. It's on your phone. It's super easy. And here's the other thing that I've noticed is, it's a thing on your phone. Sometimes the technology works, sometimes it doesn't, and the bus drivers kind of don't care. They're like, we assume you have it. Like, it's fine.
Well, if you have your badge, if you have your D23 badge, it's free. You don't pay. So you just need you don't pay for it. Disney is making this
use to get to the Honda Center, or do you know?
I don't know.
Like special buses.
I don't know. Honda Center transportation and parking. It says they recommend at least 90 minutes for travel time from the convention center to the Honda Center. So that's good to know too. There is the parking. It looks like they're going to have shuttles that are not Art. That are not. I think Art is just for the hotels and the convention center.
That are, I would imagine, shuttles that are just dedicated to getting to the
the Honda Center.
And I will say, it's been years. When I lived down there, I went to one hockey game there. I would expect the food to be much better at the Honda Center than at the Anaheim Convention Center, but I don't know if the food stalls are going to be open for the.
I would assume they would be. I really would.
Not to.
I would assume that they would be. That's another thing about the food too, is that the food inside the convention center is not awesome.
It is both way too expensive and not very good. Like, it's a miracle that they're able to accomplish both. But if anybody's been to any convention, that is convention center food. Like, I don't blame D23 or Disney. I go to the Anaheim Convention Center for WonderCon every year, and it's the same thing, right? It'll get you. If you're starving and you don't want to leave the convention center, it's fine. But it's like a $10 burger kind of thing. And it's not a good burger.
$10 burger is everywhere now, though. It's going to be more than $10 because
it probably is.
Freaking fast food burgers are $10 now.
For a mediocre meal if you're going to eat inside the convention center.
Go
ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, the last time, though, they had the food trucks out in the middle.
That's what I was
I'd much rather pay my money for a food truck.
So when I go to WonderCon, and the last time we were at D23, and I'm hoping they're doing this again, they have really terrific food trucks just outside of the convention center between the Hilton and the Marriott. And the food trucks are all local food trucks, and the food is generally top notch. Also pretty expensive. But the lines will look long. They go through the lines pretty quick. And there's a huge variety of food. And that's where I recommend. The other thing that I will recommend is the Anaheim Hilton has a little food court that people kind of don't know about.
I didn't know about it.
It's right at the entrance. And it's I think there's like a Sbarro's type place. There's a burger type place. There's a Mexican food type place. And the only reason I know it is because when we stay at the Hilton and we get Starbucks, as when our last trip, that's where the Starbucks. As you pass the Starbucks and head towards the hotel, the usually in the mornings people don't notice it because it's not open for breakfast, but for lunch and dinner, burgers and pizzas and all that kind of stuff is right there in the Anaheim Hilton.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah,
I wonder if the Marriott next door has something similar to that. I know that, I've stayed
in that Marriott, and I don't remember there being something like that.
Okay.
But I
There's
could be
plenty
wrong.
of restaurants everywhere around. There's like that Blaze pizza place that's right across the street. That's like, fast food pizza. There's a lot of fast food
There's
stuff.
a lot of things within walking distance.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say there's a lot of fast food. I'd say there's a lot of quick service, more table service. There's like your Denny's, your IHOPs, stuff like that.
Roscoe's Fried Chicken.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, which at some point I want to go to again. Because it's just really good. Although I don't know that we're going to have time. There is a couple places around the corner there's also the CVS and Walgreens on the corner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I really want to make sure people know about, because what I recommend folks do, the convention center will let you do this, is buy a bottle of water and just keep sipping on that water all day. Because you'd be surprised how dehydrated you get super quickly. And honestly, I usually will have like some Tylenol sitting in my bag somewhere. Actually, and a little bit of the what's the hand sanitizer. My recommendation for being in a convention center. I was talking to my brother about this because we're both going to Comic-Con. COVID, for folks who are coming from outside of California, is raging again in California. And if you're going
it's raging again everywhere. Annika caught COVID this weekend. She couldn't go to work this weekend.
It's getting pretty bad. And you're going to be in a convention center with thousands of people. So think about whether you want to mask up. Make sure your vaccinations are up to date. It is before COVID, when I go to these conventions, San Diego especially, I have never in the 25 years going to San Diego not come back with some type of con crud. Just COVID or not, you're in a room with 150,000 people, or I don't know how big the population is at D23. Comic-Con's 150,000. D23 is pretty packed. So take care of yourself. Mask up if you really feel like you want to take that extra precaution. I wouldn't be mad at you. I may mask up. I haven't decided yet. But take care of yourself, because you're in a room with thousands of people. Somebody in that room is going to have something.
Yeah, you're going to come back with something.
I don't know
what it's going to be.
You're just gone. But I also really recommend, if you want to walk a little farther for food, it's Disneyland. So you can go to downtown Disney, and there's a bunch of options there. There's also not too far of a walk, things like California Pizza Kitchen.
The what's that place called? The other shopping center that has House of Blues.
The Anaheim. I can't remember the Anaheim walk of a thing. I can't remember what it's called.
It's supposed to be it was supposed to be this competitor with Downtown Disney, and just did not get
never took
up
off. But
off
there's
the ground.
Some decent restaurants.
Garden Walk. There are. Yep. That's where all like the big chains are, and the movie theater, and House of Blues. House of Blues is there too.
So you can get some food and stuff there. Most hotels have something. The Anaheim Hilton does have a sit-down restaurant, but the thing is, the farther you walk, the more time you're missing at the convention center. So I would really recommend the food trucks. And then
definitely.
Evenings, if you don't have the Hana Center, I would walk down or catch Art down to downtown Disney, and there's a bunch of things down there, and it's a lovely environment, and you can have a little Disney at D23.
Yeah, they are going to have, don't forget, they are going to have a Disney Day, D23 Disney Day, which means pretty much nothing.
Right.
It means that that's what D23 people,
August 8th at Disneyland, right?
You don't get a discount.
I don't know if they're going to have like any kind of specialized merchandise or anything, but it's just, hey, everybody.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's a hey, everybody. Maybe they might, they might have a pin or something.
D23 Day at Disneyland. August 7th, if I'm not mistaken, is D23 at the Angels game.
Is that the 7th? I was going to. Why do I think it's so much earlier? I really thought it was earlier, like the 4th.
Well, because I know one of them's on my birthday, so my birthday's August 7th. And I'm trying to figure out what to do for my birthday, but I'm really going to count my trip to D23 as my birthday present to myself.
Oh yeah, duh.
Because 2 days after my birthday, and I'll be 55.
Yes, you will. Yes,
which
it's
is
August 4th. August 4th is the Angels game. I knew it was like super early.
Super early. Okay.
Compared to when the convention starts, because the convention doesn't start until the 9th. Yeah. Right? And so the 8th, you said, is the Disney day?
The 8th is Disneyland, D23 day at Disneyland.
But yeah, the 4th.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they've got a lot of stuff really planned out. But one thing I do want to talk about, because this was the thing when we went the last time that was the most confusing to me, and the thing that I'll probably change my strategy to most this time is the shopping. Now, the way the shopping works specifically for D23 exclusive merchandise, right, is at D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event, not the expo. They have different pavilions for exclusive shopping of Disney merchandise that is produced by Disney. There's also a separate shopping area for people who are doing like Disney related merchandise, but that aren't sort of the official Disney merch. I'm going to just run through them really quick. Mm-hmm. And if you can help me sort of kind of differentiate what sort of the different sort of specialties are. But there's World of Disney, the product experience, which is just sort of a general world. Think of a World of Disney store that's sort of more general for everything. Then there's the D23 Marketplace, which is 16,000 square feet and will be products from the Disney store and Disney parks specifically.
And also the D23 merchandise. So Al and I, if you're on YouTube right now, we're both wearing our Disney jerseys that we got last year. And then on the back, you can see it's got the 23. Can you see? I don't even know.
Yes. You can see it.
So it's got the 23. So they'll have the D23 specific merchandise there.
There's also the Disney Store, Disney Publishing, which is new. They didn't have this last night, which is more Disney books, audio books, and specifically stuff from Disney Publishing. Although I don't think they're going to have comics because Marvel is not under Disney Publishing. And if they had a comic book store at D23, I would lose my crap. The Walt Disney Company store, which is also
so new. Excited. Yes, I'm really very excited about this one.
And this one has 2 locations on the show floor, which is merchandise specifically from the Disney Studios, the Disney Archives, the Walt Disney Company.
So for those of you who don't know, there is a Walt Disney Company store for employees at the studio lots and on the Imagineering campus. I just wanted to interject really quick. Please. So it's stuff that the regular public can't really buy. And, you know, when you have a daughter who works there, you get lucky and you get to go to that, special things. But really, really cute. And then we got one of our duelists had commented that you need these little statues for your office.
I need these statues for my office so bad.
And I really want the Pluto's Corner statue because I love that's like one of my favorite places on the studio lot is Pluto's Corner. It tells you where all the different things are.
And I have that sign that I got.
Oh, you do?
That you can sell it they sell at California Adventure, but not the Pluto's Corner with the little hydrant and all that kind of stuff.
I kind of really want that.
I have to get the partner statue because I have the partner statue from California Adventure, but I don't have the one from Disneyland. There's also the pen store, which I'm more excited about than you are because I love pens. And Mickey's of Glendale specifically, which is the Imagineering store.
Yeah, that's the Imagineering store.
And, so all of these are different shopping pavilions at D23. Now, the way they work, which I kind of didn't get my head around last time, is you get into a virtual queue and it uses the Disneyland app to access the virtual queue. So even on the D23 app, you click the button, it'll send you to the Disneyland app. So it's important to know before you go to download both the D23 app and the Disneyland app. And I recommend doing it.
Chaos is important.
Yes. And I recommend doing it before you go because if you're depending on cellular access in the convention center, it is not going to be consistent because there's going to be a ton of people. Now, as I remember it and remind me of our experience, Like we were able to get into it without being in the convention center. We got into it from our hotels on our phones, right? We were able to get into the virtual queue.
I'm sure we were. I don't remember,
but this was a thing. Every morning, the virtual queue opens up, and you got to be right on top of it to get into some of these places. And I didn't get into some of the places until like Sunday, and everything was picked over by the time I got into Mickey's of Glendale, for example.
And I have to, like, for my own mental health, I mean, Al is Al, and he could use it. I get like super stressed out, like, and it's for merchandise. Okay, I have to remember in my mental health head that this is stuff.
Let me be clear to everybody listening or watching. I'm gonna go ape on this merchandise. I am going to buy a lot of D23 merchandise. It is going to be. I bring an extra suitcase because I know I'm coming back with stuff. To use the terminology of the kids, I'm about to go ham. Right now, I've been on this baseball jersey kick. There's a Disney baseball jersey I gotta get. There's the partner statue I gotta get. It's gonna be, and this is, mind you, coming off of Comic-Con, where I'm about to go ham. It's August 12th. I will wake up and be like, how much money did I spend in the last month? Oh my God. My credit rating. It's going to be ridiculous.
Well, I have something that's going to keep my budget in check, and that's called a husband who does not value Disney merchandise. And so,
I mean, I don't have a husband for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but I get all stressed out about it. Like, I know you go, but I'm like in the grand scheme of things. So before we go, I'm going to have to like do some serious journaling and meditation that says, okay, Andee, this is stuff. You don't need the stuff.
It's not worth it. It doesn't get you into heaven. It's stuff.
But it really doesn't. I know you are. And I know, but then if I'm on the virtual queues, and so here's what we had to make the decision last time we were there. You might get your virtual queue and your shopping time might be at 2:00. And guess what? Right. Your panel that you were really wanting to go to is also at 2:00. So now you have a decision to make. Do you want to go to this panel and gain brain knowledge, or do you want to go to the so it's a thing. And so I had to,
but again, one of the reasons I'm so happy that the big panels are in the Honda Center is I don't know that there's any one panel that I mean, this is just, capitalism. I don't know that there's any one panel remaining that will be like, oh, I can't, I'm not going to go. I'm going to choose the panel over the store. Although I will say, because of the way my flights, I may have to miss the Disney Legends panel on Sunday.
I can't believe you're flying out Sunday night.
Like I said, I'm coming off of Comic-Con. I'm taking a lot of time off work at a time where it's not really ideal to be taking.
I know. But at least last time it was in September. I had to take time off of work.
September would be easier for me. August. Well, I'm taking time off as we begin to bring in our new students. Which
I know you are. I know.
Really, I've already pushed my boss a little bit. She's like, "Didn't you just leave for Comic-Con?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
What are you gonna do? It's only every other year. Comic-Con's every year. It's only every other year. I wanted to bring up one more thing that I cannot participate in, but you can, and that is that D23 is giving. No. Oh. But that would be something to mention.
Look, I'm just saying,
I would love to be a fly on the wall.
You see attractive women, you go, hey, I got a buddy.
I would love to be a fly on the wall for a D23 singles event. Let me tell you, I would love to watch that. There are prizes that D23 is giving out all the time, and so if we'll put the website on our podcast and on our YouTube or on the notes. But if you go to fantasticprizes.d23.com, they have all these amazing prizes that they are giving out, and you should go look.
I'm not gonna win.
And you should, whatever, you all should go and you all should enter, and then I can be jealous. But I myself cannot enter or do anything I want to try for. Like the Disney panel just had their thing where, you know, you apply to be on the Disney panel, which I do almost every year since it opened in 2008, 7. And anyway, I can't anymore. Why, you ask?
You are related to an employee.
I have family members that are Disney cast members, and so that, my friends,
while you and I are like family, we are not legally family, and therefore I get to do what I wanted.
That's right. That's right. So D23 is having their fantastic prizes. I think you all should go and look at them. They're amazing. Just everything from movies to cruises to tours.
Oh my God. The prizes are so cool. They have a prize where you can get drawn into an episode of The Simpsons. There's a Disney on Broadway Ultimate New York City trip, cruises, go to Star Wars Celebration in Japan.
The Royal 21 Royal dining experience. That's like a $15,000
friends to do that. And I would like make friends really quickly.
I wonder if you win, I wonder if you can take a person that's related to a,
like, who else would I take?
I don't know.
For 21 Royal, like, I'm gonna go to 21 Royal without you and just 14 random people who don't appreciate it.
You would do that. I mean, just throw it in my face.
No, I've got people who would go. But you know.
Oh, so much. All right. Well, have we covered what we need to cover? Are people
the only other thing is, if people who are listening or watching want to see us at D23, just reach out. We'll meet you in Starbucks for a coffee. We're happy to. We are that confident of the low numbers of our listeners.
Well, one thing I do want to point out though is D23 also is going to have their lounge for gold members, and actually it might be for all members, not sure about that, but anyway, they have their lounge in the middle of the show floor, which is really nice. They have all these cushy couches, and that's how you plug in. You got to plug in all your devices. That's how you re-plug in over there. And you're good to go. So we will definitely be at that lounge more than 5 times. I can probably promise you that. In fact, we can have, I bet you that the token husband coming along would love to sit there all day and just go ahead and...
If you see a heavyset bald black guy with a beard, say hi. It's probably me.
It's probably him.
And you know, if that person says I don't know what you're talking about, I'm lying. Just go ahead and push them and insult them. That's gonna go well for you. You say no, I know it's me.
What could happen by insulting
what could go wrong?
Black man?
By assuming, oh, you're that one guy. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm sure nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. All right. Yeah. All right, Duelists. Well, first of all, let us know if you're going to be there. Let us know if you look at the events and or panels and you're like, ooh, I wonder what that's all about, because really I'm really happy to go check out anything for you guys if you want to. I am excited. There is a panel about Disney food I will be going to. I know it surprises you all. You are shocked and like just I'm in awe that I would be interested in a food panel.
I know, it's terrible.
Shocked, I tell you.
Shocked, I tell you.
So if you are watching us on YouTube right now, please leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you for all of you who have been bumping our numbers up on YouTube. That's been pretty exciting. And if you're listening on a podcast while cleaning the house or driving, make sure when you stop that you put a review wherever you listen to podcasts. That helps us out a lot too. Go ahead and join Dueling Disney Community Duelists on Facebook if you are not already part of our private group. And find us on the socials at Dueling Disney.
Your cadaverous pallor betrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though you sense a disquieting metamorphosis. Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination? And consider this dismaying observation. This chamber has no windows and no doors, which offers you this chilling challenge to find a way out. Of course, there's always Dueling Disney.